And welcome to the Sovereign Bank Arena here in Trenton, New Jersey. Today it's the semifinal round action of the 2003 MAAC Women's Tournament as the number 5 seeded Golden Griffs of Canisius take on the number 1 seed, the Jaspers of Manhattan. We take a look at the final standings on the back, just concluded last week. Manhattan and Siena tied for the top spot. Manhattan gets the number 1 seed through the tiebreaker system and receive a double bye into the semifinal round. Now we take a look at the updated brackets. Canisius got here by knocking off Iona and St. Peter's. And in the second matchup, we'll have Niagara taking on Siena. Welcome, everybody. I'm Dean Darling, along with Cecilia DeMarco. And Cecilia, new playoff structure this year in the MAAC. Who does it favor? Manhattan playing their first game today, or Canisius playing their third in 3 days?
Well, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Ask Manhattan at the end of the game if they think 5 days was too many days to have a layoff. Ask Canisius if playing 3 games in 3 days was too much. I think you ask the winner, you get a whole different answer, Dean.
Well, the Griffs right now are on a roll, and they feature one of the top players in the MAAC, in fact, the leading scorer.
Well, Janelle Stevens has had a remarkable year. She's a leading scorer. She pulls down over 10 rebounds a ball game. She takes 3 steals a contest. Today you'll get to see one of the most well-rounded players in the league. And the Jaspers of Manhattan, they're led by a junior forward from England, Rosalie Mason. Oh, Rosalie Mason is just fun to watch. She's a good athlete. She rebounds, she jumps out of the gym, and she makes the game look easy. She's really one of the players I enjoy watching most. All right, let's take a look now at the HSBC keys to the game. We start with the Jaspers. Well, Jaspers need to set the tempo. They need to challenge inside, and they must wear Canisius down. Canisius is playing 3 games in 3 days. Canisius, on the other hand, needs to stay out of foul trouble. They must rebound, and their bench must come up big today in minutes played and positive contributions. Coming up next, we've got the starting lineups of the opening tip-off from here at the Sovereign Bank Arena in Trenton, New Jersey, when we come back on the MAAC Television Network.
Game is brought to you in part by the Pepsi-Cola Company, the joy of Pepsi. By GHI, healthcare coverage from A to Z. HSBC, the world's local bank. FYE, for your entertainment, music, movies, games, and more. And by JetBlue Airways. It's not the only way to fly, but it should be.
And welcome back to the 2003 EUS Communications MAAC Tournament. First semifinal of the day. Number 5 Canisius taking on the number 1 Jaspers of Manhattan. Let's take a look now at today's starting lineups. Are brought to you by I Love New York. Show your love for New York State. First of all, for Canisius, Butler, Brown, Whitlieb, an excellent freshman. Stevens, a leading scorer in the MAAC, and Kia McFadden runs it at the point. And today, for the Jaspers of Manhattan, Rosalie Mason, the 5'10 junior. Sura Sangar, along with Tiffany Sheddick, along with Christine Bach and Siobhan Kilkenny. Head coach in year number 5, Sal Buscaglia. 77 wins, 64 losses, a winning mark of 55%. And today, the head coach there for Canisius, also in his 5th year, 61 wins under his belt. Updated numbers. First winning season in 5 years, it's Mike DeSillis. As DeSillis really brought his team from the unknown, and here got him in the semifinals.
I'll tell you, they have done yeoman's work this year. They were picked 7th by the coaches in the preseason poll and have gotten off to they have finished the season in remarkable fashion. They have won 7 in a row. They're coming. They are hot.
You see the overall series, 30 meetings, pretty close. Canisius winning 16 of them. Last meeting was on February 13th as Manhattan won that ball game. There you see the Golden Griffs as they defeated Iona back on Thursday, 76-58, and then knocked off St. Peter's 83-71, and St. Peter's had to be the favorite going into that game.
Well, this is the first time in a long time we haven't seen St. Peter's in the semifinal. I think that was a big upset. In that game, 5 of the Griffs had double figures. I mean, that's a lot of scoring. We take a high-flying offense against a very stingy defense today. And, you know, they say that offense wins games and defense wins championships. Let's see if that all pans out at the end of the day.
And our second matchup later on today will be Niagara and Siena as they gather around head coach Sal Biscaglia, the Jaspers of Manhattan. They needed a win last Sunday, the game that you and I did against Iona. They struggled in that game. They seemed tight early.
Well, I thought that the whole atmosphere was one of just emotional pressure for them. They knew what it meant, a seed in the tourney as #1. It was senior day. It was a television game. I just thought that so much was going on that they really had to work for a win that everyone thought would be a much easier win, Dean, than in actuality. But, you know, I think that that was a good game for them because they may have gotten some of the jitters and some of the emotional baggage that big games come with out of the way.
We had a chance to talk with Sal Biscaglia before the game. He was a nervous guy prior to the tip.
Oh, good Lord, was he ever.
You see the officials signed to this one, and we are ready to go. Chasing it down there is Christine Bach. Jaspers on the road this year in league games, won 7 of 9. They had a 13-game win streak at one point. Eventually was stopped the last week of the regular season by the Saints of Siena. Siobhan Kilkenny. And that's something that Chris will have to do today, get the boards. Butler for the window.
But you know, this Griffs team is one of the few teams in the league that matches up very well against Manhattan. They'll play a little zone, they'll play a little player-to-player, but they're one of the few teams that really can defend the drive.
In the post to Mason. They've got the walk before the infraction.
Well, against the 2-3, they're going to try to make some statement early by getting the ball inside. And, you know, Mason's the one that they're going to.
Mentioned earlier that Mason averaged 15 points and 11 boards a game. Tops in the conference in the top 5 of each category.
Well, she's just a flat-out player.
This is McFadden leading the team in assists with 121 on the regular season. And a runner inside there by Sherry Whitlead. Whitlead made the MAAC All-Rookie team earlier this week.
And she's had such a nice season. She really has made a difference. She'll help at point. She'll drive to the basket. She's a good scorer. And they've got a great future with her in the backcourt.
Foul charge to Kilkenny. First of the ball game as Whitlead misfires on first. And she's their leading free throw shooter at 82.4% of the regular season.
I think that, you know, today's foul shooting might be a little down just because it's such a big game.
So Whitlead makes that second one. And a quick Canisius 3-0 lead.
And Canisius is throwing caution to the wind and picking up full court. Hey, this to them, you know, I forget that when you're 17, you could probably play 6 games in a row. But they're just going to throw it all at them. There's nothing to save.
This is Kilkenny, guarded on the perimeter by McFadden. Deflection will be kept down here at the near end.
And Canisius is really extending its defense a little bit, making certain that the Jaspers don't get good looks at the basket from beyond the arc.
That's Christine Bach, averaging 26 minutes a game. Saw an alley inside. Mason, that's what she's good at, the putbacks.
And that's one of the keys to the game is don't allow them to get second shots, because if Mason gets her hands on it in the paint a second time, she's going to make it good.
Janelle Stevens for the runner. And there you see Mason. Kilkenny. Whitley moved into her at the last second and won. A late continuation.
Well, that's one of the reasons that rebounding is such a key factor in the game. Is you'll see it all starts with the Mason rebound. Kilkenny takes the drive, just a little bit of a hip check, but enough so that the official was there and made the call. She gets a 3-point play out of this.
Averaging 11 points a game as a senior from Castlebar, Ireland. And we were talking earlier this morning to say, yeah, Mason's the best player, but Kilkenny's the one that makes him go.
Oh, she really does. You know, so goes Kilkenny, so goes the game. She has been the heart and soul of this team since her arrival, and I think she has a real calming influence on her teammates.
The discard there by McFadden, player control foul.
And here you see why a team like Manhattan can be trouble in the defensive end. You know, they take such pride in things like taking charges, things like displacement of a defender. They do a good job of it.
Jaspers lead early 5-3 after getting down 3-0. Kilkenny skipping inside. Players get after it, and the officials let them go. Sheddick for 3. And Stevens will grab it.
Stevens is always in the right place, isn't she?
Yeah, just a remarkable great player. And also a great student. Just named to the MAAC All-Academic team.
I'll tell you, she's just, she was a good player last year, but not nearly the numbers that she's put up this year. Of course, she must have worked her tail off during the summer months.
McFadden given a little bit of room. Shooting off for both teams early. Sheddick on the push. To the iron. And it's 7-3 Jaspers.
And it's pretty obvious Manhattan is just going right to him early on, making sure that they get some energy boost and hopeful that if they keep wearing them down, the last 5 minutes are all theirs.
Lonnie Brown running the court. She's had 4 straight double-double games. They can make it 7-5 Manhattan. Mason pokes it out of the perimeter for a reset with 10 on the shot clock. Here's Bob. Stevens grabs it aggressively. Whitlead sets up for the 3.
This is what they do best, run and gun, the high flying. They just go. The Gophers just take it to you. They take shots and they make them.
Whitlead made 56 of those in the regular season as a freshman from New Jersey, Lincroft.
Yeah, they must love playing for him because there's no such thing as a bad shot at a bad time.
Sheddick put it on the end line. Timeout on the court. 4:03 going by here. The first part of this game. We'll be back on the MAAC Television Network. 15:57 left here in the opening half. As you see, Canisius out front early, 8-7. They jumped out 3-0. Then the Jaspers went on a little roll themselves, went up 5-3. But a big 3 by Whitlead on that right wing put her team out front.
Well, I think that she just answered for them. And just when you thought that momentum might slip away early, they hit a 3 and they're right back in the thick of things. And they're going to the bench early too. Canisius is already, Zach is in here now, Brown is in here now. So you've got them, you know, knowing that they need to rest people as time goes on.
Stevens hits a shot. They've hit back-to-back field goal attempts. It's 10-7, the Griffs. Becky Zach, the Seal mentioned, into the lineup. Canisius wearing number 20. Sheddick for the 3. She's been off early. Sangar for the putback, the native of Turkey. 1-point game. Zach actually has a twin sister on the team, Lisa, who might get some action today. They are both freshmen from Pine Beach, New Jersey, a foul away from the play of the ball.
Well, you have Stevens is really trying to post up big time in the low block. She's got a few inches on Bach, and she's trying to take advantage of it.
Bach picked up that personal, as Seal mentioned. There's a long-range bomb by Zach. Weak side rebound for Kilkenny. Kilkenny on the years get 5.7 rebounds, second best on the team. Mason drawing the triple team coverage. Too many steps.
That's a second travel. Very uncharacteristic of Rosalie to make as many turnovers early in a game. She's really got some great game sense and has the presence to really get in between cracks. Got called a couple of times to start the game on her travels.
Jill Knappich into the lineup down for Canisius as they give it up. Wear number 33. This is Sheddick feeding for Sangar. Sheddick got it to go down. And it's 12-10 Manhattan.
And Knappich has really become an important substitute for this Griff team. She was a starter last season and seems to be really flourishing in that role of coming off the bench, shooting, coming back in again. I think he's found a very good place for her.
Third team foul down with the Jaspers. Inbound situation for the Golden Griffs. And talking to the Canisius people prior to today's game, they said, we enjoy playing in the morning because Mike DeSillis, their head coach, makes them practice a lot at 6 a.m. This one going off at about 11:37 a.m. in the East today. And so far, they've had the early wake-up call. They're competing. This kid Appick, she won the long-distance shooter award in the back last year. Stevens. Kept alive there. It's Lonnie Brown.
And Lonnie Brown has had 4 back-to-back double-double ball games. So her emergence as a player has really come at the right time of the season. What a nice core of kids he has. He's 2 seniors, 2 juniors, and 1 freshman starting, but everybody's contributing. I think they'll miss Butler, but boy, it looks as if the junior Lonnie Brown has come into her own.
Eve Walters checks in wearing double zeros. You see Sankar checks out. And Shorty Reed, one of Seal's all-time great players, has checked in. Her real name is Donette, but she loves to be called Shorty Reed by her teammates.
Oh, she's lightning quick. She's just fun to watch.
Backed up by Kilkenny for the save, but she bounced it on the end line.
Well, you can see now the cobwebs that Manhattan's trying to shake off. They've an uncharacteristic 5 turnovers in the early part of this game. This team doesn't turn the ball over that much, and already has turned it over too often for coach's liking.
Canisius in the tournament so far during their history, 5 up and 12 down. And that includes 2 wins this year. Stevens. And a reach called against Reed.
Now Stevens came over from the left side of the key to the right block. She traveled probably 10 feet to get to the corner to get to the rebound, and she is a fine offensive rebounder. You can't teach players to track the ball. She does it instinctively.
Well, she leads them just under 10 a game in boards.
And now she's trying to post up Penny inside, and no one sees her there.
Set defenders.
Yeah.
18 on the shot clock. There's the one-on-one against Reed.
Reed gives up a lot of inches when she's playing against Stevens.
That's McFadden. A 3-ball. Canisius regains the lead, 13-12.
And they're changing up the defense team. When they make it, they're going back to a 2-3. When they miss, they're going back down to a player-to-player.
Walters with a good look. Sandwich job that time on Mason. We'll see who they call out on the grips.
I think McFadden may have been the player that, oh, they're going to call it on Brown. I thought McFadden snuck in there and got a piece of her. Heck, they probably could split that foul. I think Rosalie just got sandwiched.
Yeah. Half a foul each.
Yeah.
Gilgetty the trigger. And had down just by the point. Walters wearing a nice shiner there, absorbed in the Iona game last Sunday. Whirling move, too wide. And the freshman Whitley got pushed to the back by Mason.
And Mason, that was a kind of a frustration foul, Dean. You know, she had missed going up on a second rebound attempt. She wants the ball so badly. She you know, didn't use good judgment when she went for the ball.
First foul called on Rosalie Mason.
Jasper's certainly going to the offensive board, just not falling for him right now.
And the Jaspers now as a team at 5. Stevens on the year, averaging 21.2 to lead the MAAC in scoring. Whitley sneaks in, grabs it. And Stevens off the cut and the fade. Oh, showing how good a player she is.
Nothing but silk.
3-point gap now favoring Canisius.
You know, she hasn't come out for a minute, nor has Butler. I would tend to think that those young women are going to play a lot of minutes today. Plenty of time to rest at the end of the season.
Over the back. We have 11:47 remaining here in the first half. And Canisius leads early, 15-12. As we head to break, you're watching the MAAC Television Network. HSBC proud to sponsor the HSBC Family Section. HSBC salutes the MAAC and today's families in attendance. HSBC, the world's local bank. it's been Janelle Stevens off to the quick start for the Griffs.
Just watch her here. She just is nothing but net. She is so smooth. As she drives, she pulls up, she takes jump shots. We take a nice look at why she's the leading scorer in the MAAC this season.
First team all-conference player, season high 36-point performance against Niagara earlier this year.
I'll tell you, you think of last year's games that you had the opportunity to see in Canisius, and she doesn't stick out in your mind. You think about the fine players that she played with, and now she is a dominant force on this court.
Whitley has been a good helper as well this year for Stevens. Shorty Reed runs the floor. Mason with a good look. Stevens has averaged a double-double in the first 2 games of the tournament. For Butler, and she shuffled.
And Butler is another player, Cambridge Indian Latin kid from Massachusetts. I watched play years ago in the state tournament. She's developed into a fine player. She's put some weight on, she's strengthened her body, and now she's a real force on the inside. She came off a double-double against St. Peter's, so she's starting to come into her own at the right time in the season, Dean.
Yes, and you mentioned that high school, Rins in Latin. Patrick Ewing went there.
Absolutely, they were a state championship team under Mike Jarvis, the gentleman that now is the head coach at St. John's.
And this time it fell for Rosalie Mason. Mason, a 5'10" junior, shoot 45% from the field, and it's 15-14 Canisius. Nice tip away by Mason. Here's the lead out for Reed. The coast to coast.
That's what a player like Mason, you talk about all the things that a great athlete can do for your squad, but she tips balls, she rebounds, she scores, she just does it all.
First 2 of the day for the native from Syracuse, New York. Tough defense played by the Jaspers on the overplay. Stevens posting. Beautiful look.
And she can pass.
And she's down. As Stevens went down after that nice no-look pass.
Take a look here. Just a beautiful pass. She's really in pain right now, though. It looks like she's re-injured that ankle. She's hobbling a little bit. Take a look here, though. You see Brown on an inside out. Comes in, makes just a terrific pass inside. Butler waiting for the pass, finishes it off. Look at that.
Got her foot stepped on there and went down heavily inside the post. Canisius leading 17-16.
She's not coming out. She's playing on 1 foot if she has to today. And that's, she's not giving it up.
If the trainer would have come out, they would have had to put her on the bench.
She just looked over, waved, and said, no, no, no.
Air ball 3 by Sheddick. She's had problems other than 1 shot going down. McFadden running it at the point. And a player control. At first they were going to let it go. Reed was going down, but then McFadden just kept moving inside.
Well, Reed is just so low to the ground. You see she gets down, and McFadden does give her the elbow. I think if the elbow hadn't gone into Shorty's stomach, then maybe the official wouldn't have given it that way, but it was pretty obvious.
What a contrast in styles as they bring it up court. Reed, who's under 6, and Walters well over 6 feet tall.
Walters does such a nice job on the outside for a woman her size. 6'2", she's coming into the game really having helped the Jaspers in the last half of the season.
There's Reed off the crossover, and Walters to fill the lane. 18-17 Manhattan. Whitley looking for an answer. And they'll reset. The cutter is Stevens. Mason was in her vision. Jaspers went 1-1 in the playoffs last year, knocking off theirs and then losing to St. Peter's in the semifinals by 4.
It's so strange now, Dean, to say that St. Peter's won't be in the semifinal round.
A 3 by Siobhan Kilkenny, shooting only 28% this year, but nothing but net at the 8.5-minute mark. Manhattan leads by 4.
And really trying to get her team motivated, asking them to step the game up a little bit. She knows what it means.
Nice deflection by Walters.
And once again, the defense steps up.
Now Pascalo looks like a New York cop in traffic over there on the sideline. Mason. Whitlieb was setting up, trying to heave the three. Too long in a back cut that time by Brown. 7:51 left here in the first half. Manhattan has come back to lead by 4, 21-17 in our semifinal match here in the MAAC tournament. We're back after this on the MAAC Television Network. Jaspers lead on a 5-0 run over Canisius, 21-17 in the opening half here with 7:51 left. A lot of honors were bestowed yesterday in the MAAC as they recognized all conference players as well as a scholar athlete awarded in the league. And let's check out this report.
The Women's New York State Lottery Scholar Athlete of the Year. From Manhattan College, Christine Bach. Christine, a senior civil engineering major from Floral Park, New York, is a 4-year letter winner and holds a 3.61 grade point average. Christine Bach, the New York State Lottery Scholar Athlete of the Year.
And there's Christine Bach, a starter, hoping her season doesn't end here today. The senior from Floral Park, New York.
Well, I think the seniors on Manhattan have a goal that's much greater than the semifinals. I know that last year they thought they were denied. They were up by 16 at the half with St. Peter's and ended up losing it. I don't think you'll see that happen again to a Manhattan team.
Mason with the move inside, that time on Butler. Walters kept it alive. Reed, she knifed inside.
Well, this Jaspers team, they go to the basket off the dribble as well as any team in the league and have really done a nice job of it this year.
Becky Zach once again in the lineup down for the Griffs. And Walters on the infraction. As Jessica Steves checking in, the 6'3" freshman from Trumbull, Connecticut will go to the line. She had taken a swat to the face by that lady right there, Walters, but nobody detected it, and there's that shiner under the right eye of Walters. We saw her absorb some punishment last week.
Took some punishment, didn't she, in that Iona game? You talk about Steve's coming in. You know, she's been a mainstay. She's done a lot of damage when she comes in off the ballgame. She's a big, strong kid, and is giving Butler some rest. And actually, she's in with Butler right now, and they've gone with a little bigger lineup than they usually go with.
That free throw made by Steves ended a 7-0 run by the Jaspers. Jaspers overall in the year 18 up and 9 down. That's the way they finished the regular season. Remember, they were named the #1 seed on the tiebreaker system as they ended up in a first-place tie with Siena at 15-3. So they received the double bye right here to the semis. First time out here for them in the tournament. Sangar back in the lineup, started today.
And good adjustment by Canisius. They're starting to sag a little bit on the perimeter, really challenging the ability of the Jaspers to hit the outside shot. They're getting beat badly on the drive. Now they've got to make an adjustment and see if the Jaspers can answer with some outside shooting. You see it now. They just won't give. They're giving them enormous space out there, not wanting to give up the drive.
And they know that Reed is not that good an outside shooter. Becky Zach joined out there with Stevens. Butler, Knappich, and Steves. Getting close to 6 minutes left here in the opening half. Shot clock's down to 12 and a walk. So the turnovers are starting to pay a toll right now on the Golden Griffs, the #5 seed in this year's tournament.
Well, this is a stretch, a 6-minute stretch. They really have to dig in deep because the legs are starting to go a little bit. You can see it. The players are starting to, really trying to get an extra breath out of it. They don't want to give it up here. It'd be too hard to crawl back in again.
Saw the graphic, a 2-1 margin in turnovers. Kilkenny. That's touched out of bounds by Mason. And Mason's on the floor quite often herself.
She sure is. She goes after everything, and she physically punishes you when she goes up after a ball. She doesn't go up, like a sweet little lady. She gives you a good kick in the back on the way up.
She spreads out when she goes airborne.
Yeah, she does.
There's the cradle now by Stevens. Working on Bach. Zach for 3. The glass right now is owned by Rosalie Mason. Reed in transition, the up and under.
And now you see them stretch it out to a 7-point lead. They need to answer here. And you can see, I think right now, you know, they're doing things like 1-4 sets where they're putting Stevens up top and 4 across the baseline, making Stevens take it one-on-one. How often can you ask a player to do that in a ball game where she herself is fatigued? That's going to be an answer that Canisius is going to have to find.
Shorty Reed has it. And now the Jaspers leading by 7 to take some air out of the ball. Under 5 left here in the opening half. Sangar on the pop out with 10 on the shot clock. Kenny's already drilled a 3 in the ball game. She's going to try it other way. And a reset.
And who else but Mason? And this is tiring. You know, this is what one of the strategies of a coach that really will wear a team down is taking the ball from the top of the key, side, top, side, continuously. Really tires the defender.
The lead out for Napick ahead of Reed. Napick and Whitley are going to have to give some relief to Stevens to compete here today.
Absolutely. They have to be able to get positive minutes from that bench because of the amount of games that they're playing and how their legs must feel. Whether it's a morning game or not, these kids have got to feel as if they're a bit fatigued. And Manhattan has had 5 days of rest.
Zangar. Trailed down by Napick. As Sangar whacks it out of bounds with 3:50 left here in the first half. Jaspers leading it by 5. You're watching the MAAC Television Network.
From the floor of the New York Stock Exchange to the top of the Empire State Building, New York City is celebrating 150 years of Manhattan College.
It's a college in the city, a college in the country.
It's big.
It's small.
It's modern.
Traditional. It's Frisbee on the quad. It's big-time basketball at the Garden. Manhattan College. It's the best of all worlds.
No wonder New York City loves Manhattan. Come join the celebration of 150 years of Manhattan College.
This game is brought to you in part by Coach USA, the best way to see New York City. The New York Lottery. New York Lotto gives you 2 games for $1, so play today. Hey, you never know. I love New York. Show your love for New York State. And by Continental Airlines. Work hard, fly right.
Back here at the Sovereign Bank Arena in Trenton, New Jersey, the semifinals of the 2003 EUS MAAC Women's Basketball Tournament. Shorty Reed has been a real spark plug off the bench for the Jaspers.
Take a look at the smallest player on the court, sets tempo, drives to the basket, makes things happen. Great passer off the dribble, kicks it down. Look at her here again, stutter step move, slices between 2 defenders. This kid makes the game fun to watch.
Right now, Canisius out rebounding Manhattan 17-15, which surprises me a little bit, but Stevens has half the rebounds with 8.
Also a stat that is interesting is Canisius is shooting 42% from the floor while Manhattan is at 36. I guess by the standards of Canisius, that's not great shooting. Anyone else would be really pretty happy with it.
There's the lead for Walters, trying to save. Kilkenny running hard. Kilkenny likes to go right.
And they just drive right at you. Part of their offensive plan is if you give me room, I will take it to the basket and I'll either end up scoring or end up at the foul line.
Kilkenny has 8 to lead her team. Long range there by Whitley. And Kilkenny kept it alive. Sheddick in traffic. And Stevens has another rebound.
This pace is fast and furious. This is not favoring Canisius right now in the sense that this is the style that they play, but will they have the legs to continue at the pace for the whole game?
They played on Thursday and Friday prior to today's game. Whitley for 3.
You know, I'll tell you what. I look at a statistic that blows my mind. 577 3-pointers Canisius has taken over the course of the season. They throw up at least 20 a game. Manhattan, on the other hand, has taken just 355, and they shoot. When you look at what Canisius can do, they shoot very well from three-point land. They shoot 32%.
Mason knifing inside and to the foul.
Mason on the boards is just doing yeoman's work. She's not finished off today, however, on the boards. She'll need to if her shots don't begin to fall.
It's actually her 9th rebound of the ball game. And in the first meeting this year against Canisius, she had a career-high 20 boards in that game.
I tell you, she loves the glass. This is where she makes her living. She's just a 66% foul shooter, but gets to the foul line a good many times. She's been to the foul line 170 times this year. That's an awful lot of times to go to the glass.
And Seal, to pick up on your point, numerous double-doubles, 16 to be exact.
I'll tell you, I love watching her play because of the way she plays the game. If she developed an outside shot, and you know she's about a 10-footer right now, she would be absolutely unstoppable on the court.
I remember last week you were saying if she grew another 3 inches, she'd be in the WNBA.
Absolutely, you know, because in the way that she's going to play at the next level, whether it be in Europe or in the WNBAs, she has to develop a perimeter game because of her size. If she were 3 inches taller, we wouldn't be having this conversation. She'd be an inside player someplace big time.
Over the back, though, on Mason right there, as Brown kept after it.
And this may be her second foul. She picked up an early one, as I can recall. You see her here. She's clean, and then she wants the glass again. She wants to go after it. You know, when a player rebounds the way that she does, sometimes she doesn't make the best decisions about when the ball is really reboundable.
Biscaglia will save her now for the rest of the half with the 2 personal fouls. Here in the 1:45 remaining. Whitley put back good, and Sanger on the foul.
Well, now we know why this team, we hadn't had a chance to see them play, we know why this team has hung around and beat the teams that they have. They just don't stop coming at you, these kids. Just when you think you've nailed them shut, they find a way to breathe again.
How about the game last year in the MAAC playoffs? Losing to Fairfield, 96-92 at overtime. The 188 combined points, a MAAC tournament record.
I'll tell you, they love to shoot, and kids who like to shoot the basketball love this system.
One possession game once again. 90 seconds left here in the half. Gilgetty looking against that zone. A shuffle, a travel.
Yeah, Walters wasn't ready for the pass. Kenny really looked away at three-point shot. She's got to let that go. Although she's not shooting well from three-point line, you know, she's got to put it up because her teammates can get to the boards.
Manhattan got here with their great defensive team, number 1 in the MAAC, giving up only 58.3 points a game. And they contest the outside shot, too. Their opponent shooting only 28.9%. That also is number 1 in the MAAC.
Well, that's why it's pretty remarkable that Canisius is shooting what they're shooting for the game. They're shooting 42% on the perimeter right now against the best defensive team in the MAAC.
Lonnie Brown took an extra hop.
Lonnie Brown wants to go to the basket against Walters, but that time Walters really got in her way, and Lonnie took a little shuffle step.
Timeout comes from the Jasper bench. With 1:12 remaining here in the opening half. Jasper's up during the course of this half by as many as 7 points at 27-20. That's a 3-point game. Jasper's 3 times they've been the postseason MAAC champs, 87, 90, 96. And Canisius, their history hasn't been as good, but in fact, this is the first time after yesterday's win they've ever won consecutive games in the MAAC tournament.
In the MAAC tournament, absolutely. They've only been to the semifinals once in the history of the program. But this is a coach, you know, Mike DeSellis is in his 5th year here. He took his time building this program, knew that it would take some time, and he's got the kind of players now that really fit into his system. These are all his kids. These are all his recruits. He likes players that'll run. He likes players that play an up-tempo kind of a game, and they've really responded well to it.
Shorty Reed comes up with a left thumb up in the air for a play call. Brown on the heavy defense against Sanko. Shot clock's got 17 seconds remaining on it. Under a minute remaining in the first half.
And this is a different team without Rosalie Mason. You know, they'll really take some air out of the ball. They're not going to rush anything with Rosalie on the bench.
Down to 2 on the shot clock. Reed gets it off. But she didn't draw iron. And a shot clock violation.
Good call on the official's part. It hit the backboard, didn't hit the glass.
So still 40 seconds remaining here at the half. Shot clock reset to 30 seconds, so they will have to shoot before the end of that.
Well, you know, when these two teams last met, they split. They played each other very, very close in their last meeting, although Manhattan defeated Canisius. It was by 3 points, 69-66. The first time that they played, it was 77-69, and that favored Canisius. So if Canisius gets this game up into the 70s, then it likes its chances. Right now, it's tending to favor Manhattan because it's going to be played in the high 50s, low 60s.
We got a busy day. Coming up next, Niagara and Siena, the 3 seed versus 2 seed in the semifinals. Then the men, Iona take it on Niagara. That'll be a real battle. St. Peter's coming off a dramatic win in overtime last night against Ryder. Takes on the number 2 seed, the Stags of Fairfield. And Marist coming off the win against Canisius last night, taking on Siena. Tomorrow, back on the air on MSG at noon time for the championship call. And then the men's will feature the semifinal round. 36.4 seconds left here in the first half.
That's a big hoop. They can either go in tied, down by 1, or as down by many as 5 if the hoop is not made.
Zach Whitley leads in the scoring here in the first half with the 10. That's she setting up for 3. She's tied it at 29.
And Whitley is the 6th best shooter in the conference in 3-point. They're getting a little trouble with the clock here.
Buzzer going off at the 7.5-second mark.
Yeah, I was saying that both Janelle Stevens and Sherry Whitley are 5 and 6 in the long distance shooter award this season. They let it fly. Both of them, between the two of them, 113 3-point shots. So they're not going to be shy in the last couple of seconds about taking the shot from anywhere over the half court.
13 points today for Whitley.
Nice freshman, boy. She has great future here with Canisius.
They try to sort it out. What they have to do now is correct the time on the clock. They have to see when that buzzer actually went off, as Manhattan will probably play it down here to the 1 shot here, the final 8 seconds.
You know, as I was reading all of the information about Canisius, I was struck by that in Coach DeSillis' 5 years here, he has had 11 1,000-point scorers. That is a whole lot of points for 11 people in a 5-year period of time.
Is Sheddick trying to break the tie. Ripped down by Stevens, and that will do it for the half. Just the way we started, we're tied after 20. Manhattan 29, Canisius 29. Sal Biscala a bit disgruntled there at the end. That last 5-minute period was not good for his team. We'll be back with our halftime entertainment after this. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. Looking for their 3rd win in 3 days.
I think he's done a terrific job today using his substitutes. It's obvious, however, that he feels Janelle Stevens needs to be on the court for the team to either go ahead or to maintain a tight ball game. And, you know, she comes running towards the official right now to get the ball, and she's fit. This girl is cut, and she looks up here. Maybe she won't come out at all today.
Well, in that first half alone, she had 10 rebounds to lead her team, go along with 4 points. That's McFadden, Brown, Butler, and Whitley joining the 5 here in the second half to start for the Griffs. Good ball movement and good defense played by the Jaspers. And Whitley by a force.
Yeah, she apologizes to McFadden, saying, you know, it's my fault, you set a good screen. So these kids get along pretty well. Bach is doing a nice job, though, on Stevens. Stevens hasn't had a lot of looks at the basket.
4 straight non-losing seasons for the Jaspers. And the Jaspers open it up here in the second half.
I think Rosalie got the message at halftime that they needed her offensive presence. She was just 2 for 9 in the first half, although she pulled down 9 rebounds.
A lot of the misses within 5 feet. Jaspers going with Sheddick, Kilkenny out there along with Sangar, Mason and Bach. Stripped by Sheddick. The lead for Kilkenny to fill and score. A 4-0 run to start the second half here by the Jaspers. Butler fading.
And they're trying to, as the game has started, get the ball inside against Butler, against Sanger. I think they feel Butler is a better post player than Sanger can defend.
Back cut, Kilkenny. Mason on the look.
Nice pass, Mason Fonderish cut back door.
Kilkenny had 8 at the break along with 2 rebounds and played 18 minutes. Stevens seeing a gap. Not a friendly rim.
No, she just can't get it to roll. She cut between 4 defenders on that drive, and I thought she had it, but it just rolled out on her.
Eve Walters coming back in now for the Jaspers. Sangar will check in.
Yeah, I think that Sanger is having really some trouble with Butler inside, and that Walters is a better matchup for her. And the same thing with Bach against Reed, against Stevens. I think Reed is just a little quicker on the D against her.
There's the flip. Knappich back in. Stevens for the 3. Now looks for a reset. Butler, open alley. Steps back inside. Free ball. And a jump ball is called.
Real hustle play. You know, you had 4 or 5 players go after that ball. No one could get a handle on it, and both players then converge on it. You see it here. It's loose in the middle of the court. Goes through Canisius players' hands. 2 players get down. Knappich, Shorty Reed just sort of tackles her, jumps in there, kind of makes the call for the official, throws a thumbs up saying, good call.
Shorty Reed, all 5'2" of her. See with the basketball. He averages about half the game, 20 minutes. Only to miss Kilkenny next year, senior.
Well, they have quite a few seniors they're going to say goodbye to, and they hope the season goes as long as it possibly can.
Nice touch by a Griff. Kilkenny instructing a teammate.
Kilkenny, I think you mentioned early on, has really been the glue of the Jaspers. She seems to really take charge out there and direct people on the court and really settle them down when they're playing outside of where they should be.
And Seal playing in her 113th career game today.
Oh, she's just been here for a long time.
Eve Walters got a step that time on Brown. The shovel for Mason. Well, Mason struggled in that first half, but she scores there.
And Mason just great body control, changes her position in the air. So few people can do that, and she's one of them.
Jaspers have outscored the Griffs early here in the second half, 8-2. Down to 8 on the shot clock. Loose ball. Good look by Stevens and Walters. And finally put home that time.
And Butler goes up strong the second time. Walters got a great piece of the ball. Butler went up again after and said, hey, I'm going down with this, and it happened.
3.5 going by here in the second half, 37-33 Jaspers. Biggest lead in the ball game for the Jaspers was at 7. Canisius led early in this game at 3-0. That was her biggest lead. Mason with the drill.
And Mason's taken the ball 10 or 12 feet from the zone now and taking the shot. She has 6 at the start of this second half.
1,297 career points entering play today, 5th best. And remember, she's back next year, only a junior. Stevens for the ISO against Kilkenny.
And it may have been either Sheddig or Kilkenny that picked up the foul on it. I think it was Sheddig that got her hand in it. You see it here. Stevens goes to the basket. Nice position on Kilkenny, but Sheddig comes over and tries to help and bumps her on the way up.
Stevens in the regular season made 81.7% of her free throw attempts from Freeport, New York. You know, the Ivies were after her. Princeton, Cornell, Columbia. She's an academic all-conference player. Last year, second team all-conference. This year, moved up to the first team.
Jesus, not just the entire team shoots above 70% at the foul line. So you've got some kids that can make some points everywhere.
Shorty Reed. Comes away again.
didn't hit the clock, though, so she's really got to be aware that she's just got 2 seconds. Did make a nice drive. You know, in this series of play, Dean, you're going to see that Canisius has been able to stay in a zone, and they've caught a breath.
15:32 left of the second half. Jaspers lead by 4 here in New Jersey. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. Time now for our Broadway Marketing's Mind-Bending Trivia. Broadway Marketing, Mind-Bending Branded Solutions. Who was the first MAAC women's basketball team to compete in the NCAA tournament? I'll give you the answer in just a little bit. One of the hints is they've been there quite often. Ready to resume play. With 15:32 left here in the second half. Jaspers by 4. They got the shot off in the nick of time. And then Walters off the collision drew the foul.
What a difference a half will make. Canisius, having shot 44% in the first half, is now just shooting 2 for 8 in the second half at 25%. Manhattan came out 5 for 7 at 71%.
Sheddick for the 3 look. The foul earlier was on Lottie Brown, and another reset. It's like a power play. And you mentioned Canisius really gets tired playing on a defensive end here.
Well, you know, in part of it, nice move on Kilkenny's part, going back up. Part of it is because Manhattan does such a good job taking the ball from corner to corner and making the defense shift.
Kilkenny leads her team in scoring with 14. 6-point lead again. Wasn't there for Brown. And Sheddick on the overplay. Reed pushing some tempo, brings it back out.
And you can see the Canisius players, 3 players waiting to get in the ball game.
Kilkenny back-to-back hoops, 16 on the day. Biggest lead of the game for the Jaspers at 8. Griffs need an answer in a hurry. Brown on the perimeter. Shot clock down to 10 seconds. Knapik well off the bar. Saved by Butler. Walters with the defense. They say a reset. Blue possession, says the official. It's Ron Clarkson. Sal Piscalia is looking for an interpretation.
The official gave it to him. I think that the official was pretty clear that the clock hadn't been reset and that they had an additional 30, and it's heads up on their part. Now you have some mass substitution for Canisius. Nothing good happening with the group that's out there. No one's been able to put it down.
Jessica Steves was checked in wearing number 13, the 6'3" freshman. Brown on the end line. Good runner inside.
One of the few times you'll see Mason get beat on the baseline drive.
Down quickly is Walters.
That's a great pass. Kenny just saw it, and Walters couldn't finish it off.
Becky Zach, 2-pointer. That was a rush.
Yeah, there's a difference between a rush and a quick shot.
Mason. Wrapped down by Stevens. Zach in transition to challenge. And she went right to the tin.
She did, and I'm not sure which player picked up the foul. It's either Kilkenny or Reed, and Reed put her head in there, so she may have gotten caught for that foul, but she's got 2. You take a look here on the drive. Nice move. That comes all the way in. And I think Reed bumped her in the way in. Kilkenny seemed to have had position on her.
They posted on Reed. And Becky Zach to the free throw line from Pine Beach, New Jersey. You know, she's got some family here today. Mentioned she's got a twin sister, Lisa, on the team as well. And their dad, a graduate of Canisius.
There you go. Think they had much choice about where they were going to go? Or if one was going, the other was going with her.
Especially twins, especially when they're giving out scholarships.
Absolutely.
Her career high this year, 8 points against Ryder. She goes about 12 minutes a game.
Not a great foul shooter. Only shooting one of the few players that shoots below 50% at the foul line.
Comes up empty there. Now Reed. Kilkenny leads everybody in scoring today for Mason. Unselfish maneuver by Kilkenny.
Kilkenny is just putting the team on her back and saying, look, folks, let's go there.
Showing why she's a second-team all-conference player. NBA range from Becky Zach.
And just when you think, Dean, that the game is going Manhattan's way, one of the Canisius players just lets the long ball go and it falls. This time was Becky Zach.
And Mike DeSillis will really have to manage the clock here now with his timeouts to gain some rest for his team.
You see it. Look at Zach's feet. She's out at the hash where the coach's box should be. That's got to be a good 28 feet from the basket. Nothing but net.
Cutting the deficit to 5. Well, earlier we had asked you on the marketing, mind-bending trivia, Broadway Marketing's branded solution, who was the first MAAC women's basketball team to compete in the NCAA tournament? And the answer, back in 1982, the Peahens of St. Peter's went to the dance.
Well, they've been to the dance a lot, and I'm sure that they're not happy that they're not getting the opportunity to get to the dance one more time. But there's one thing you can be certain, that team will be back. Yeah. Their coach stands for nothing but the best, and if he's watching, we hope that he's back here again so we can say good things about him next year.
Mike Grinelli will speak about who sat out his point guard yesterday. In their first game, Lindsey Gonzalez serving a one-game suspension. And if they would have won, been here in the semifinals, she would have played in the second one. It was a team matter, and that's the way they handled it privately. You understand that, but ended up losing to this Canisius team. And there will be a new reigning champ this year. St. Peter's having gone to the dance last year.
And there might be 2 different teams in a final. Certainly on this end, we haven't seen either Canisius or the Jaspers in the final game, and of course Siena's been in it, but Niagara has not been there for 10 seasons, so it could be a whole new group. The last basket was the first 3-point for Canisius in the second half after shooting 50% in the first.
It's kept them in it, that's for sure. Reed out there with Kilkenny. Sangar's back in with Mason. And Toyelle Wilson on the floor for the first time. Number 5, she with the basketball. Mason cupping inside, rolling it home.
A couple of new players in the field. Hagan and Wilson have not seen any action. I think that going to the bench, both teams feels that it's the time to do it.
Hagan into the lineup, fresh. Kilkenny. Jaspers just want to run the Griffs into the ground.
And when they're not running, they're making them move. They're using that clock, and they're making them extend and making them use energy on defense.
And a late whistle on Kilkenny. We have 11 minutes and 49 seconds left here in the second half. Manhattan leading by 7 as we head to break. A concerned Coach Pascalia. We'll be back on the MAAC Television Network. Hey fans, the 2003 MAAC Hockey League Championship hits the ice March 21st and 23rd at Army State Rink in West Point, New York. All session passes are affordably priced at just $12. For ticket information, call 877-TIX Army. 11:49 left here in our first semifinal of the day between Manhattan, the number 1 seed, and Canisius, the number 5 seed. Right now, the Jaspers controlling tempo, leading by 7. Stevens. Brown for a putback. Stevens, another opportunity.
Well, they're running that 1-4 set, hoping that they can get Stevens the basketball and to get her hot hand back in the game. She hasn't been hot, but she's gotten to the boards and made good on those second shots.
Getting here another double-double. That's 8 points for her. Mason rolling inside. Good defense by Brown. Another putback.
So Mason's having to work very hard against Brown. I'm very impressed with the way Brown's defending. She's making Mason earn her points, and that's made a difference.
And Rosalie Mason, another opportunity at the free throw line. Came to the first team all-conference earlier this week. 6th in the MAAC in scoring this year. So she's had back-to-back years where she's been named first team all-conference. And she's only one of 11 kids back there home in England.
A lot of kids. That's where she rebounded. When you fight at the table for
the scraps.
For the scraps, you've got to be quick.
Get up, get up.
Steves for the loose ball. Reed almost had it that.
Could have got a little lucky on that one because she had no place to go had Reed not had her foot on the baseline when she went past her.
Whitley. And she walked.
Now Whitley gets in a little trouble when she comes off that screen. She takes the ball 2 dribbles into the paint, and she really, coming off that screen, has to go either left a dribble or right a dribble and take the shot. That's what she does best.
It's Reed, Wilson, Mason, Sangar, and Kilkenny on the floor right now for the Jaspers. Looking for their 19th win of the year. Stevens falling out of bounds. Rotate up there by Zach. Earlier to hit one from beyond that play. And Reed was warding off with her left arm.
Yeah, that's the second time we've seen that happen where Reed has gone down, and she really has a little bit of trouble here. She comes in and she doesn't use that elbow. She's in good shape, but she uses that left elbow to push, and the official's not going to miss that call. May have gone the other way had she not given the little shove with the elbow.
But still, when you're 5'2", you have to gain
You have
every
to do
advantage.
something. You have to use something. You're right.
Just can't be protected.
No, you end up going into a stomach, I guess.
Popping out is Whitley. She kept him in that first half, knocking down 3 bombs. And a foul called against Sangar.
And I don't know which comes first here, when the official makes that call. Sangar got knocked over, but she didn't get knocked over because was it because of something she did, or did she just flat out get knocked over? And Sangar's coming out of the game because Walters has really done a better job in the post today. And although Sangar's had a great season, this is not a good matchup for her.
I mentioned last week, Walters just returning to the country the end of December. She's setting the draw. That's a good look by McFadden for 3 from Meriden, Connecticut, and it's 48-45, a one-possession game again.
And that 3 has just kept them alive and within striking distance. They are never out of it with their ability to shoot the 3.
Kilkenny off the clock. Kilkenny again rescues the basketball.
Kilkenny's really having a nice ball game.
Walk. The Gris just keep hanging around, Seal.
They do. They're like a bad cold. They won't go away. They're just there. And a team like this, that can shoot the 3, is never out of the ballgame. That's what makes them so very dangerous.
As a number 5 seed, their record in the playoffs, 2 up and 2 down. They started on Thursday as the 5 seed, winning against Iona and St. Peter's. A strip attempt there by Wilson.
Wilson did a good job against that drive. Stevens was on her way up. She had all basketball.
16 up and 13 down, assured of their first winning season in 8 years since 94-95 for the Griffs. They would love to get win 17 here today. And that's a shot clock violation on the air ball.
Steve just didn't use the glass. She had the move and opted to go over the rim. If she had used the glass, the 30-second call wouldn't have happened. She would have had a chance on her own board had it not gone in.
Earlier you saw Mike DeSillis. He's a resident of New Jersey, born in Irvington, New Jersey, 7th head coach in the school's history. Reed lost it. Wilson working hard against Stevens.
Nice move. Good use of her left hand.
Her first 2 of the afternoon. 5-point edge now for the Jaspers. Whitleyb's not given as much room here in the second half. But now she gets it off. Oh!
Just as you say it, she's as close to the bench as a player could be before she's out of bounds, and she drills it.
Her 4th triple of the ball game. Mason put back.
Mason answers in what she does best. She just goes after the boards as if her life depends on it.
Manhattan 52, Canisius 48 with 8 minutes left in this one. Building's getting a little bit louder now.
Well, I think that everyone here realizes this Canisius team is for real.
Stevens came up worse for wear that time. And the foul call to be made.
I think they're going to call Wilson on the tag. As you see her here, what the rules tell you clearly is that there cannot be any contact when a player puts the ball down. And although the tag doesn't displace her at all, they're going to give her the call. You see it here. She goes up. Will end up at the line for 2. Good foul shooter.
7:52 left in regulation. Jaspers by 4 in Trenton. Back here at the Sovereign Bank Arena, Trenton, New Jersey. It's the semifinals of the 2003 MAAC Women's Tournament. And right down you see Manhattan handling Canisius. I'd like to tell you about the 2003 Golf Championship. It's back at Disney's Wide World of Sports Complex in Orlando, Florida, April 25th through the 27th at Disney's Magnolia Golf Course. Contact Anthony Travel at 1-800-736-6377 or go to www.anthonystravel.com.
You know, stats just handed to us are really amazing because the teams are playing so evenly. The stat that makes the difference has been the turnovers. Canisius has turned the ball over 15 times, Dane, to Manhattan's 8, and they've made good on 19 of those 19 points on those turnovers. So that's been the difference in the ball game.
And Stevens has another double-double for the 3rd straight day with 10 points and 13 boards. Kilkenny for another answer. And the Jaspers lead at 55-50.
That's Kilkenny's 18th point. Kilkenny is having a great day of basketball.
And the steal by Kilkenny. Siobhan Kilkenny.
You think Siobhan's ready to play today? It has been all about her. That's her 20th point of the night. She's played 30 minutes and has gone 7 for 14.
We go the other way again. Reed combining with Wilson. And this game has changed dramatically. Another theft.
And the turnovers that we had talked about in that little stretch are coming back to bite Canisius. And boy, I'll tell you what, Siobhan Kilkenny has made use of it. And you find Manhattan with the largest lead of the game, up by 9 with a little less than 7 in the game to play.
The score a minute ago was 52-50. Oh, again, Donette Reed.
They're putting it together, and they're putting on a show now. 62-50, timeout.
Mike DeSillis, and the celebration is on for the Jaspers right now, but still plenty of time left with 6:11. But it was just 52-50. You glance up at the scoreboard, and a 10-0 spurt by the Jaspers put them out in front by 12.
And you see Kilkenny just stepping into the passing lane. Canisius got careless with the basketball. All began with her steal. It's been all about her. You see it here. Another steal. Wilson takes the basketball away, finds herself here. Nice pass into Reed. Reed finishes it off for 2. Those are the kinds of points. You see it here. Again, a big step up. Reed, bang! A 10-0 run. They go on in the last minute and 9 seconds, and we have ourselves a 12-point game instead of a 2. How quickly the game changes.
Mike DeSillis didn't even get a chance to call a timeout after the second turnover. You look up and there was another one.
Really, 10 points in a minute and 9 seconds.
McFadden coming back. And Wilson pushed by Knappich.
Oh, they're off and running now. You can feel it. You can feel momentum shift. The coaches are up. The kids are excited. You see it. Wilson has been a really positive contributor in this stretch. That steal and pass to Shorty Reed made a difference, and the turnover resulting in a point.
Didn't see Wilson in that first half, but she's paying some dividends here in the second half.
Look at that. Manhattan, 9 steals to Canisius' 0. Add that to your turnover ratio. Boy, they've had the basketball a whole lot more times.
Reed. Whitley clears. throwaway.
And you wonder if this is emotion or fatigue. You know, as fatigue set in, is that one extra movement that you need that you just don't have the legs for happening? Or emotionally, are you just losing control of it? Have you not been here before?
Or is it just plain old good defense, too?
Yeah, you know, I think the call was outside, so I don't believe they're going to get a continuation foul. They did. They're going to give a one shot.
Very late continuation.
Very late. That looked like an NBA continuation. Coach DeSalle is just chomping on his lip, and you see it. Coach Sal is on that sideline, and he just is, he's got to slow down a bit here. He's got a good 5 minutes left in the game.
Also, he has his son, Charlie Piscali, as an assistant coach.
Well, it's a family affair, you know. I tease him about being an Italian, and I'm an Italian, so I know the importance of having a brother or sister next to you. Yeah. And he's got a son next to him, and he loves him dearly. Talked a little bit about his daughter before the game, showed us a picture of her sonogram. He's going to have his very first grandchild, hopeful to be born in September, and congratulations to the family. He's as thrilled about that sonogram as he was about the game.
His daughter, Deanna, getting the good news. Right now, he's very excited about his team's effort. This was a 2-point game just a couple minutes ago at 52-50 Jaspers. You glance up, and it's 62-50 now. As they reset it, as they have waved off the bucket. Kilkenny. And they'll stay down to that end again.
Yeah, Kilkenny went up for that shot and had the presence of mind to go after it. Just worked real hard in the offensive glass. What a nice ball game she's having.
So after a conference, they took away that continuation call, and it's 62-50 remains at that with 5:04, and a 30-second timeout is called from the Manhattan bench. And with 5:04 left, Coach DeSillis of Canisius will really have to muster up something here for his team.
Well, points off turnovers. Canisius has been able to muster 6 points off the Manhattan turnovers. Manhattan has mustered 27 points off the turnovers that Canisius has committed in this ball game, and that's really been the story of the ball game. That was the story of that 1-minute run where they went on a 10-0 stretch and really put the game to where it is right now.
This copyrighted telecast of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the MAAC and MAAC Properties, a division of Post Communications Incorporated. Play resumes, swatted out again by Lonnie Brown.
And now the starters, except for Zach, all the starters, McFadden is sitting down, but all the starters in Canisius are back in. Again, remember, Stevens has not sat for 1 second of this ball game.
Finally a miss here by Kilkenny. Zach. Double teamed. She's on the end line, out of bounds.
And another turnover, so boy, they just can't seem to get it going. And this is going to be an important 4 minutes and change, because the Jaspers can put it so far away now that they just, even 3 points can't bring him back. So
you're talking about a 4+ margin there in points on turnovers, favoring the Jaspers.
19-point differential in turnovers.
Kilkenny for the 3. Skied down by Stevens. About 15 rebounds so far in the ball game. Offensive foul.
She does everything. She does everything today. She wants to go to the championship game, and you know, Mason is quietly going about her business, but Kilkenny has been the player in this game that when all else wasn't going well, she was there.
Second personal on Janelle Stevens. It seems the play has been down at this end over the last 5-minute period. Kilkenny whirling. Mason for a putback.
Just going about the business of getting rebounds, folks.
She and Kilkenny each have 21 to lead the squad. Zach for the runner. Zach for a putback. And finally, the Golden Griffs scored at 64-52 Jaspers.
And the Golden Griffs now are going to have to play some great D, try to get some stops and answer with some points on the other end if they want to upset this Manhattan team in the last 3 minutes.
Reed. Kilkenny on an ocean. Drives instead. Walters kept it alive off the back tag.
And coach is calling for use of the clock. You know, your clock's your friend right now. Use it. Canisius cannot score without the basketball.
Jasper started the regular season at 0-2. One of the losses was to Canisius in game 2. Ball's loose.
We have a jump ball.
The jump ball is called. The arrow favoring Canisius. 3:11 left here. 12-point game favoring the Jaspers.
This game is brought to you in part by the Pepsi-Cola Company, the joy of Pepsi. By GHI, healthcare coverage from A to Z. HSBC, the world's local bank. And by FYE for your entertainment, music, movies, games, and more.
Yesterday, the MAAC named its Rookie of the Year in the conference. Let's find out who the #1 pick was.
HSBC Women's Rookie of the Year. From Loyola College, Katie Shirley. The 6'1" freshman forward from Easton, Maryland, made her mark on the MAAC by earning 6 Rookie of the Week awards. She shot a very accurate 56% from the floor, 72% from the free throw line, while averaging 9 points and 5 rebounds per game. The HSBC Women's Rookie of the Year, Katie Shirley.
Play back in with 3 minutes remaining in regulation. Jaspers with the ball, or I should say Canisius with the ball, and coming back now to get within 10. It's 64-54.
And they're going to have to pick up full court, and this is where stamina may play a part. Can they be strong enough in the last couple of minutes against a very good driving team? Remember, Manhattan likes to put it down.
Walters ran to the basket.
Yeah, but she saw Brown coming toward her and took that extra step. Brown did a nice job of kind of hedging and coming back in again. Walters has a long way to fall.
Yeah.
When she hits the ground.
6'2", fifth-year senior from Pittsburgh, New York.
Wilson's done a nice job against Stevens in the second half. You see the 1-4 again.
The clear out for Stevens. Mason another carom. Getting close to 2 minutes left in this one. And a reach on Whitley.
Well, a decision has to be made now, too, if you're going to, how and when you're going to foul. That was just the Canisius' 6th foul. Do they decide now to put them at the foul line, or are they going to go with 3-point shooting? This is the decision. Only the coach knows what his team is better doing in this situation.
It's foul for both teams, sends them over the limit. The push there on Zach.
And that's really an unnecessary foul because they'll go to the foul line for 1-and-1. Although Manhattan is not a great foul shooting team, you know, the real stat is how do they shoot in the last 2 minutes when the game's on the line. So if Kilkenny is anything, you know, she's a 68% foul shooter, but she's having the kind of game that I wouldn't be surprised she knocks these two down.
So it's the 1-on-1 situation, as Seal mentioned. That one awry. Stevens pushing for Brown. Down by 10. Clear out. Stevens had it checked.
And credit Wilson for the defensive pressure on Stevens. She's done such a good job challenging Stevens that Stevens hasn't gotten good looks at the basket. You see it here. Stevens is forced to dribble a little bit too much. Wilson just keeps her hands down, waits for the cross dribble, puts her hand in.
At that time, the arrow rewarded the good defensive play as the Jaspers gained possession. See, crowded over there by the Canisius sideline.
Checking in for Manhattan, number 23.
Bach comes in, builds some leads.
And Bach might be a player on offense that is will settle them and really extend a little bit more than perhaps Wilson would have.
They had Stevens holding that time on Bach as they came on the court away from the play of the ball. Third one on Janelle Stevens.
And Bach just a 59% foul shooter. So someone's going to have to knock these shots down to take away the chance that Canisius has to shoot the three to get themselves back in the game.
It has to be a concern for Manhattan, shooting only 65% in the regular season, while their opponents made 74% of the opportunities. Bach gets that one rewarded with a bonus.
Well, I think that, you know, if you play a great ball game and it comes down to the last couple of minutes and you get to the foul line, you have to have people step up, or you're not going to win those ball games half the time.
Bach buries two.
The Bach stepped up that time.
Now the shuttle system, Reed in, Bach out.
Yeah, they're going offense, defense, and Reed's a good choice because you know Wilson and she will bother the basketball big time.
Back cut by Stevens. Wilson was active, and Mason cleans up. And then the foul.
And Brown got Mason in the arm. Mason, again, 66% foul shooter, but goes to the foul line a host of times.
Mason in the regular season went there 166 times. That's an average of 7 free throw tosses a game.
Well, that's as many as you take in practice over the season. So she's not shy about getting there. She just has to knock a couple of these down. Soon they'll be at the 2-foul situation. I think that takes a tremendous amount of heat off of you in the first shot. You end up walking away with one, but Mason will have a one-on-one here before the next foul gets him into the 2 shots.
Clear by Stevens. Time's running out, though, for the Griffs. Oh, there's Kilkenny again, looking for another theft.
Kilkenny looks as if she has a twin sister out there, because every time we look, she's somewhere in the passing lane.
202 career steals, entering play today, 4th best in Jasper history.
She can't help but smile. If you look at her now, she is smiling as she is playing.
Another ISO. Wilson played great defense in the late stages against Stevens with the step back 3. Stevens goes down as well as Wilson. And Stevens was just trying to feign the call that time.
Yeah, and also Stevens on the 3-point shot had to jump backwards. Now that's a really tough thing to do, to jump backwards and then get forward momentum for a 3-point shot on the 3rd day of a game. I don't know, that's asking a lot of your legs. And Steven has to foul again. Shittig is a very, very good foul shooter, so she'll go to the line. Now she has 2. Everything changes because this young woman shoots 79%. Everything changes now that you have 2 foul shots. You relax, you know you're going to get at least 1, you step away.
Quiet day today for Shittig. Shot 79%, as Seal mentioned. Way back her freshman year, she was named the MAAC Rookie of the Year.
She's had a good career. Now you take a look at these 2 stats that have just been handed to me. Kilkenny has 21 points and 8 rebounds. Mason 21 points and 14 rebounds. And we think Mason's been quiet today.
Those 2, they scored 2/3 of them.
There you go. And Manhattan it was stingy defense beating a high-flying offense. And they held a team that averages 71 points a ball game to less than 60. You're usually going to walk away with a double.
Well, he mentioned a couple times, number 1 D in the league, 58.3 points given up a game. And now Canisius with 64 to board, and it's a 14-point spread favoring the Jaspers.
And the Jaspers just have to play good D. You know that they're going to force some 3-point shots here. They just don't want to foul them when they put them up.
Zach left it behind that time, intending for Butler. Last touch by a Jasper.
And there's really not enough time to fool around with the ball and make extra passes. They really need to take shots. So this game, they can't get back in this game unless they start to shoot threes.
Whitley off the ball fake. Kilkenny all over. Shot clock dwindles at 5 seconds. Stevens will hit for 3, and then a timeout from the Canisius bench.
And you know they have to be thinking, go for the quick steal. We don't get a quick steal within a second. You have to foul, send them to the line early and often. You see it here. Whitley gets caught. Kilkenny doing a great job. Ball goes off her hip. She gets to dribble it again. Stevens just sips back, and Wilson just gives her a step. And you see how deadly Stevens can be. You give her 1 step, and Wilson has done such a great job not giving her a step all day, challenging her on the drive.
Well, stay with us. We have plenty more action ahead for you here today from the Sovereign Bank Arena. Next, the number 3 seed Niagara against the number 2 seed, the Saints of Siena. Over to the men's bracket, Iona and Niagara will match up 4:30 on MSG and Empire. And later on tonight on MSG, St. Peter's and Fairfield, Marist and Siena. Tomorrow we got the championship call at noon and 6 and 8:15 for the men's. And Monday's championship game in the men's bracket, 7 o'clock ESPN. And off the inbound attempt, kind of a mug job right there by Butler, working over Mason. Double bonus time for the Jaspers here in the late stages with 50 seconds remaining.
Well, the story's been Kilkenny's all-around play today. You know, Mason, the expectation is, you know, she's going to rebound like a mad woman all of the time. She didn't disappoint, but Kilkenny came up so big. Now, she's a woman, you mentioned, 905 career points, 423 rebounds, 220 assists in 4 years at Manhattan. She's first in steals this season with 73, and looks like she had another 10 today, the way that she was after the basketball. She had 4 steals this afternoon. She's played a little bit more than 35 minutes. She's done it all, and you can tell that this kid came here ready to take the next step towards the NC2A in a championship.
So Mason buries a couple. 15-point lead for the Jaspers. Left out by Mason. As a crowd here from the Riverdale region, where Manhattan makes its home, is applauding the effort today. Their Jaspers will advance to the championship game. And who makes another steal?
Kilkenny comes up with it, and that'll be their 5th of the game for her. She'll get to the foul line. Again, we mentioned earlier, she's a wonderful foul shooter. So she has a chance to add another 2 to that 21 that she's already picked up. And this is a great afternoon from a woman who just averages, second leading scorer in the team, just averages 11 points a ball game. She's doubled her output.
She has played for the Irish national team in the past. From Castlebar, Ireland. 905 career points entering play today. She got 22 this afternoon.
She's just 2 rebounds away from a double-double.
Almost has a triple-double with those steals.
But she sure does.
Stevens heaving for 3.
Yes.
So Kenny
picks up a rebound.
Yep. Final 30 seconds here of our first semifinal game. And the Jaspers will push their record to 19-9 overall. They came in the number 1 seed, having been off since last Sunday, and Canisius just didn't have the legs in the mid part of the second half to compete. 3rd game in 3 days. They'll dribble out the clock. The Jaspers advance to the championship game for the 5th time in the school's history as they beat Canisius here in Trenton. Final score, Manhattan 71. The Golden Griffs of Canisius 57 as they meet and greet at the center line. We'll be back with our post-game interviews after this on the MAAC Television Network.
Where are we going with these teams?
First semifinal of the day goes in the books for a win for the Jaspers of Manhattan. 71-57 over the Golden Griffs of Canisius. Let's go out to midcourt. Cecilia DeMarco has our player of the game.
Just a great game. 22 points, 9 rebounds, 5 steals. You came ready to play. What's you feeling right now?
It's the best feeling ever. Number 1 coming into this tournament. We knew we couldn't take Canisius likely. In my mind, they were the most dangerous team to us, so I was ready to play for them. But they played 2 games, one yesterday, one the day before, so we felt that we were rested, well rested for them, and they maybe had tired legs, so we ran them down.
Well, I'll tell you, at the 6-minute mark, you went on a tear.
Right.
In a minute and 9 seconds, your team scored 10 points, and you were responsible for 6 of those and 2 of the steals.
Right. Well, I just felt that we needed to run them. You know, I think when we started the slow down game, trying to get it inside and stuff like that, at the end it wasn't really what we needed to do. We needed to push the ball and make a break and make a start. So I hit a 3-pointer which started it off, and that was it.
And that was it.
That was it. once I hit a shot, I think I get a little bit of a rhythm, and then.
Did you know you were
emotions
smiling the whole time you were playing?
That's the way I play. That's the way I play. I like to smile, have fun. That's the way I get through it. Aggressive
Well, I'll
and smile.
tell you what. Now, how do you prepare a great high today? How do you get you ready for tomorrow's game?
Well, we won today, so we're just going to take today's victory. But once it comes down, we're going to prepare for either Siena or Niagara. I don't mind which team comes through, but whichever one, we're ready for them.
You're ready for them. Good luck. It was wonderful to watch you. Back to you, Dean.
All right, thanks, ladies. Again, our Pepsi player of the game, that lady right there, Siobhan Kilkenny, with the 22 points, knocking down 9 of 21 shots, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi. Jasper's win here in Trenton. We'll be back with more after this on the MAAC Television Network.